Here I spoke to the former Cabinet Minister Iain Duncan Smith and asked him for his reaction.
I have to say that I was a little surprised to hear him express that view when yesterday he hiked interest rates. So if he was that concerned, then I was surprised why he would hike interest rates. It suggests that he thinks the economy is rather robust at the moment.
His point appears to be, with regards to no deal, that it would involve significant disruption to trade with the outside world in general, but in particular with the EU, and that would have serious knock-on effects for the economy.
That always assumes that nothing changes. First of all, can we just clear what we mean by no deal? Because this is bandied around as though there is some outer darkness that the UK would go to that nobody else exists in. The reality of no deal, it's no trade deal. That's no special trade deal with the EU. But no deal doesn't exist because it would be a deal under the WTO. We already operate under the WTO, as does the EU. What we're talking about is either a special free trade arrangement with the EU, which we would like, but if they don't want to do that, then we would be doing our trade under the rules of the WTO. And the point here is, even in those circumstances, it's wholly up to the UK as to whether they set any tariffs at all with the EU or not, and the same with the EU.
The argument was made by various people during the referendum campaign and afterwards that so urgent would be the need for EU producers to trade with us that a deal would be done, that they needed us more than we needed them. Is it not possible that the political imperative of punishing Britain, of showing members of the EU the true cost of leaving the EU, is overriding the economic imperative of trading with Britain, and that there is a chance that without a deal we could end up with very serious trade disruption to encourage everybody else to stay within the EU?
Now there you have it. And that is a very interesting question, because this is the key to what is going on at the moment. What we have is a political plan. Now, so far what's happened is, endlessly those who want to remain in the EU have constantly talked only about trade, as though trade was what the EU was all about. And the truth is, it has never been about trade. Trade was always a mechanism to drive the nations closer together under the plan set. The key thing here is, if they do decide that it's more important to drive the nations together politically, hence the euro, which doesn't work, but nonetheless they stick to, then they really do show their true colours. And what we then be leaving, by the way, is a wholly political institution that wishes ultimately to eradicate all but the trappings of nation-statehood. And so you're quite right in this question. It's over to the EU. What actually is the EU for? If it's for jobs, livelihoods, for making sure that people's welfare and lifestyles improve, then they will want to do a deal with us very quickly. We are their largest trading partner and their most profitable one, by the way. But if, as many of us believe, that it is all about the politics, then they may well play that game, in which case moving to the WTO ultimately will be the strongest safeguard we have.
Iain Duncan Smith.